Hi, I'm Linzi Levinson. I work for Quality for Life Coaching, and I also work for a divorce alternative center. And I want to share an idea today about philanthropy, an idea that's kind of maybe evocative, sort of thought leaderish and into the future. I think philanthropy belongs in our world as children, and I think it belongs in our school systems. I think that philanthropy, whether we think of it as altruism, charity, contribution, I think that it is something that can be wired into our thinking system and our way of life as little children, babies, certainly school-age children at the age of 5 years old. And I believe it should be a significant part of our school curriculum. And personally, I believe we could be trading out other curriculum, math, history, English, reading. Are they all vital? Absolutely. Is philanthropy more important? I think so. Let me tell you why, and let me tell you where I'm coming from on this, because I want to see if people can resonate with some of this thinking. I believe that giving back and giving is the greatest joy that we can receive while here on the planet. And I also believe that most of us don't realize that. Most of us wait for what we are needing to be given from another. So whether we are waiting for that job, waiting for that relationship, waiting for that raise, waiting for that apartment, our favorite house, our parent to call, the estranged friend that we had a falling out with, we're waiting to see what is coming to us and what we deserve, and we have things we want, goals we aspire to, but we are waiting. And as we wait for these things, these other pieces hold our power. So that raise, that boss, that phone call, that relationship, our power lies in the hands of whoever's holding that. And we lose self-esteem as that process, unfolds. And certainly we lose self-esteem if it unfolds in a negative way, but the waiting alone is not the most positive process in how to get by each day. Picture if you bring yourself to the Special Olympics and how you'd be rallied around each day to show up. I know my son and I went to Thailand over the summer, and we worked at an orphanage for some amount of days. And every day we showed up, the kids ran to us. There was a language barrier. We couldn't speak all too many of the same words, but we all understood. We all knew. We were thrilled to be there to see them. It was our favorite part of the trip, my son and I, my son being 19 at the time. And they could not wait to reach out and grab our hands and take our hands and lead us to where we were supposed to go next. And my son and I didn't need to be any more than we were, have any more than we had, do any more than we did, come with our hands full. We just needed to show up. So we liked ourselves. We felt pretty good about ourselves because we were just us, and people were thrilled to see us. Any time you give, the next time you go back to give, especially if it were to someone who knew your smiling face, they can't wait to see you. I know I pay the bridge toll behind me for any time I drive through, and I don't want to see that person. I don't want to hear the thank you. That's not why. I just want that person to have $4 in their hand and be told they can put it back in their purse or back in their seat or back in their wallet. But I know that it's less about how good they feel and more about how they can't wait to get somewhere to tell someone that someone paid their bridge toll. It's that good feeling that you can put out in the world. And so my first reason behind this concept is that you feel good about yourself because you have all the power in the world that you're walking with to bless others with a feeling, to feel good about themselves and to feel good that day. I think that also, needless to say, I think there's a lack of self-esteem in our society and in the world, and I think there's a lack of understanding how to get it. And I think, again, that one of the gold nuggets here is philanthropy. Just doing good deeds is a way to actually love yourself tremendously, to see that you're good and to see that you're enough. And if we can start doing that at young ages in school and do it all through school, I think that our self-empowerment and our self-empowerment and our self-esteem becomes strong enough to stand up to some of the things that we have to face. I think also, as you choose philanthropy, as you choose what to contribute to in the world, you really strengthen your identity. And as you strengthen your identity, this is what leads to self-esteem, knowing who you are and knowing what your purpose is. What do you believe in? What matters to you? What do you think is right and wrong? And why are you here? And I think that in giving, you can answer a lot of those questions. And again, I don't think a lot of us realize that this is where these answers are to be found. I think that if we can be received by others with unconditional love, just acceptance, people are just glad to see us, glad to have whatever it is, even if we bring a smile, if we sing a song at an old age home, if we read a book at a children's hospital, it's enough, but it helps us be lovable. And if we know we're lovable, we've got an edge to have a successful life. And I think that this can have an impact at a global level, because I think that if we wind this through the curriculum at school, where it's always part of the curriculum, and by high school it's not choosing yes or no, should you do philanthropy, but it's you're doing philanthropy, which one will you choose? In freshman year, these are your 5 choices. In sophomore year, those are. So now, would you like to work for the library? Would you like to work for Children's Hospital? Special Olympics, singing at the old age home? Would you like to hand out meals to the homeless? Would you like to go abroad and do something for the summer to, do some international work at an orphanage? So you get different choices. By the time you're out of high school, you not only have so much experience, but you start to have a mentality that is reflective of humility rather than entitlement. You would almost feel empty, a little bit awkward without philanthropy in your life. It would be like kids who prepare their whole life to go to college. They may not get there, but when you think about all, your school years, that's where you're headed, usually you're going to get even whatever college it is, online, JC, 4-year, doesn't matter if that's your plan, probably going to go there. And so if philanthropy is part of the plan, then when you're done with high school, you're probably going to decide what your next giving project will be. And this allows us as a nation to be givers, to think about how to give when people are in trouble, to solve problems, to be responsible toward contribution in community, rather than get angry when community doesn't give us what we want. And I believe this is a global level, all the way up to from relationships at the level of divorce, or globally at the relationship at the level of war. If we think in terms of giving back, solving problems, and contributing to community, we're bound to end up with different results. I think that even the energy around giving, there's an adrenaline rush. And there's when you talk about all the energies that come with medications, dopamine and norepinephrine and adrenaline and serotonin and endorphins and hormones and these things that can alter what make us feel joyous and make us feel bliss and ecstasy without any kind of drugs or any substance. That's the energy that can be generated from the giving. Again, if you have your bridge toll paid, or somebody pays for your coffee in front of you at Starbucks, or somebody pays for your movie ticket, or just you're going to pay for your groceries and somebody, the clerk tells you that $10 of your groceries have already been paid by the person in front of you, but they're long gone, but that just happened to you. The energy that's generated inside your body is a very different one than the energy that we have and we sit with while we wait for the things we wish for and someone else has the power to give us or take from us, but ultimately quite often results in abandonment or rejection or sadness or anxiety or fear or anger. So, I'm Linzi Levinson. I have a lot of topics of which I'd like to stimulate your thinking on, and philanthropy is one of them, and I'm wondering what you think. Thanks for listening.